So two alternatives for the squat, three actually, either seated on a bolster or a brick, feet flat onto the mat, knees wide apart. Perhaps if that's not suitable for you, you'll take Malcolm's position, laying on your back with your feet together, knees wide apart. And if you want to go a bit deeper, taking that block or bolster away, and now we're just suspended in midair. We bring the elbows in towards the inner knees and we lift up our hearts. It's quite intense on the knees. Just nice, easy breathing. So we're working with the kidney meridian, the energy meridians of yoga. The kidney meridian means the root of life. It's our reservoir of energy, seat of courage and willpower. And this kidney meridian flows upwards. It flows from the little toes, through the sole of the foot, circles around the back of the heel of the foot, travels up through the ankles, up through the inner thighs, up into the body, and all the way up to the collarbone. The kidney meridian controls growth and development of bones and nourishes the marrow, which is the body's source of red and white blood cells. So just a couple more breaths. Remember, you can always pop your buttock down on the mat if you're in this deep posture. It is quite intense in the knees, so just check out what's happening in the knees. Just 3 more breaths. And then we release the buttocks down to the earth. Take away your cushions. We're coming to lay on our tummies. So if you're already on your back, just roll over. Coming to lay on our tummies. And we're in our Sphinx posture. So remember, you can have your bolsters underneath your chest. You can have your cushions underneath your chest. Your feet are together. Your chest is proud. Shoulder issues, maybe take your arms a little bit further in front of you. It may take some pressure out of the shoulders, but will decrease the back bend. And we just find ourselves in this beautiful Sphinx posture. And we're here for 3 minutes. So a major function of the kidneys is to remove waste products and excess fluid from the body. These waste products and excess fluid are removed through the urine. There are 2 kidneys, one on each side of your back, just below the ribs. So working with the kidney meridian, we produce an active form of vitamin D that promotes strong and healthy bones. We release hormones that regulate blood pressure. We have 1 more minute. Just breathe into the kidneys. about the energy. Three more breaths. And to release out of this posture, remove any props that you may have brought into your body. Place your hands underneath your forehead. Turn your gaze to your right and slide your right knee along your mat towards the direction of your right shoulder. You stay here for 1 minute. Couple more breaths. And then slowly slide that leg behind you. We're now going to just roll onto our backs. So just rolling onto our backs. On your journey over there to the back, you may want to just check out what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to lay down on my back and I'm going to bring my left heel towards my left buttock. And you're going to feel a nice sense of opening at the front. Some of you will actually take the foot even deeper to the buttock and roll back. You can support yourself with blocks and bolsters as well if you want to. It's a tiny back bend as well. So the deepest option is if you've got it right close to your body, that left foot. And if it's not feeling great to do any of this, then just have long legs. And maybe take your arms up over your shoulders, either in this position or with straight legs. So just your options. So if your arms are raised over your shoulders and you've got any tingling or pinching, then perhaps bring the arms back down again. And this is a nice shoulder opening if your arms are raised above you, laying on the floor behind you. You can always have cushions to support the hands if they don't reach the floor. And if you have got your heel towards your buttock, perhaps bring your awareness to that front left thigh. There's also a nice stretch of the abdomen. Again, bring your attention to the kidneys. Just getting some energy moving in that area. And we breathe. We have the stillness, the awareness, and the time. Where are you feeling this posture the most? Take the gaze inward. A couple more breaths. So release the arms if they're raised above us and bring them down at the side of our bodies. And we're just going to roll a little bit, carefully taking that leg back to long legs. Then we'll do exactly the same with the opposite leg. We'll bend it and just draw it in, or maybe bring it close to the buttock and draw it in that way. Just see how it feels. Nice, easy breathing. Settle yourself into the posture. And then if it feels nice, arms up and over. See how it feels if you want to take the arms up again, or leave them down by the side of your body. So one side may be more challenged. Thinking about that kidney meridian line that runs up the inside of the thighs. It travels up the back of the spine by the side and crosses over, finishes in the collarbone. Be aware that your body may now just be releasing a little bit more into these postures. Allow the mind to be quiet. We keep taking our gaze inwards. Outside distractions of thoughts and sounds may come. But we keep returning our gaze inwards, what's happening now in the body. Have 1 more minute left in this posture. Bring your arms down by the side of your bodies. Roll a little bit to release that leg. Nice long legs. Stay here for just a few breaths, that nice rebound that we can experience more sensations. And then bring your feet flat to the mat. Draw your knees one at a time into your chest and have that little roll around on the lower back. Into the kidneys. So bring your feet flat. We're coming back into Sphinx. So we're just going to roll ourselves back into our Sphinx posture. And this time, it's for 5 minutes. So please use that opportunity if you want to have bolsters underneath you. If it feels better with bolsters, do you want to put a bolster underneath you? Or cushions if you don't have bolsters. Bring the feet together and lift up your hearts. That's fine. I feel more comfortable. Yeah. Okay. So again, we have a beautiful back bend happening here. We know that back bends are quite healthy, but we just take our awareness to make sure that we are not in pain in any way at all. So when the kidneys are out of balance, we can experience fear, depression, loneliness, and insecurity. Sometimes a ringing of the ears, tinnitus, may be a symptom of the kidneys being a little bit out of balance. The best time to rebalance the kidneys are the hours between 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock in the evening. So when they are in balance, we find wisdom, rationality, and gentleness, and some self-understanding. Very much related to the water. So it's a water energy. So often we don't drink enough water, and this could result in painful backs, dehydration, lack of energy. So maybe make a conscious effort to think about your kidneys sometimes and drink a little bit more water. So you're halfway through this posture. Now, some of you who have practiced yoga for quite some time may not be feeling this back bend sufficiently for you to really enjoy your yin practice. So you do have the option to go into seal. So you would just take your hands wide. Your arms would be yang, so the arms would be nice and strong now. The pubic bone would stay on the mat. And we are in what we call seal posture. So it's much deeper compression of that lower back. And if you've tried this posture and you don't like it, then just return to your seal, so to your Sphinx. But if you are in the seal posture, be aware of that stretch in the abdomen as well. And be aware of the more yang happening in the arms. We do know that in our yin postures, all our muscles are relaxed. But in this particular posture, the muscles are working in those arms. So it's quite intense. Please feel free to come back down into Sphinx if you're in seal, or remain here. It doesn't matter what happens with your shoulders. We're focusing on the lower back, we're focusing on the kidney areas. We have a few more breaths and then we will have completed our 5 minutes. Just a few more breaths. And whichever position you're in, you'll remove all your props, and we'll come back to that same counter posture, but we'll have the other knee coming up. So we'll bring our hands underneath the forehead, we'll gaze to the left, and we'll draw that left knee up. This is decompressing the posture that we've just done. And we're here for 1 minute. It's also a nice hip flexion. So that Sphinx posture is quite beneficial for people who have what they call bulging or herniated discs. It can be quite therapeutic to do the Sphinx posture. We've completed our minute, we'll draw that leg back. We're just going to roll onto our backs and find that rebound again. The legs long, arms long, just finding that rebound. Different sensation. And then from here, the feet are flat onto the mat. We're going to roll over, coming up into a seated position. Feel free to sit on cushions if you want to. We're coming into our classic butterfly posture. It's another long hold. It's 5 minutes again. You can put your bolsters or your cushions underneath your knees. You can also pop your cushions on top of your thighs. We're rolling forward. Those who know it, take it slowly, roll forward slowly. Nothing to be gained by doing anything too quickly. So we're rounding the back into flexion. And the hamstrings are not involved here at all. If you do have serious spine issues, you may want to keep your spine tall, but you'll lose that stretch and you'll be working muscles. So if it feels okay and you've been doing yoga for a while, then round the back and see how it feels. So this is a great posture for kidneys and prostate. And it's highly recommended for anybody who has suffering from urinary conditions. Also regulates heaviness in the testicles and regulates periods for the ladies. And it helps our ovaries function properly. So a lot going on in our classic butterfly position. So any heaviness in the testicles, this is very good posture for releasing that. Allow yourself to go a little bit deeper if you want to. Again, keep your focus inward. So spring is here. And spring's a time for renewal. A fresh new year ahead of us. And when springtime comes, we take the opportunity of cleaning out the house, spring cleaning. And we're out in the garden, busy weeding and burning off any rubbish that has been accumulated. But do we clear our minds? So let's use this practice, the rest of it, to perhaps clear our minds a little bit. Maybe reflect over the past year and how we've coped, how we've managed through this past year. These are long holes, so remember, if anything untoward is happening, burning, tingling, shooting, anything electrical in nature, it's telling you to ease off a little bit. Have one more minute. So last 2 breaths. And then slowly we'll rise, nice and slowly. If you're up already, it's too quick. Really slowing in. Pick up the back of the knees, separate the feet, we know this one, wide legs. Lean back on those hands, pointing towards your buttocks. And let's just do a little bit of windshield wiping. And then we'll come back to long legs. And we have 3-minute holds. So again, we can still be seated on our cushions if we want, if it makes it more accessible for you. We're going to draw the left heel in and drop that knee open. Cushions can also go underneath the knee to support the knee. If it's not working for you to have the knee bend, you can literally throw it out. Going to come straight down that front leg. Inhale, lengthen up. And exhale, let's take our forward bow. So we are working into the hamstrings, into the hips as well, into the spine. This is really stretching the lower back without requiring loose hamstrings. And we're really targeting the ligaments along the spine. And also we're still working with those kidney meridians, as we're stimulating the liver and the kidneys. And if you have your belly on your thigh, we're really aiding digestion as well. Maybe reflect on what we have learned over the past year. We've all learned something. What have you learned? The final minute. And slowly we'll rise. Pick up that bent knee. Long legs. A little massage. And then we'll take the opposite foot in. And again, we'll support that knee if it needs to be supported, or we'll throw the leg out if it's uncomfortable. Going to lengthen up and exhale. Let's take that forward bow again. Remember, props can go anywhere you want them to be. They can be on top of the thighs. They can be lower down. Many of you have been practicing for a while now, and it may be interesting to note how your body is opening up. Where you originally started in your Meridian practice, maybe you're moving forward a little bit. And maybe while we're in this posture, we may think about what we should let go of. We've been holding on to something in this past year, and is it now time to let go of it? That might be fear, anxiety, whatever you've been holding on to that's holding you back. What is it? And is it time to let go as we renew in the new spring? The last minute. And then slowly we rise, nice and slow. Bringing that bent knee back in. Nice long legs with a little bit of massage. And then we're going to have wide legs. And again, you can sit on cushion, which will tilt you a little bit further forward. You can also, you're a little bit fed of forward bends, you can have your bolster and you can have a more straight back, or you can have lower, you can use your elbows. So it's 3 minutes. Or you don't have a proper tool, your choices. And maybe in this particular posture, also, by the way, just if your hamstrings are screaming at you before we settle into it, you can put cushions underneath those knees, which will help those hamstrings open up a little bit. So moving back to spring and renewal. What have we appreciated over the last year? So in this particular posture, we're opening up the hips, the groin, and the back of the thighs. We're also providing a gentle opening to the inner knees. And we're also stimulating the ovaries. Maybe there's lots of new things that you've appreciated, new technology that we never knew existed, connecting with people in such a different way. Deep appreciation that we're healthy and we have avoided any nasty COVID situations. So bring your hands to the earth and then very slowly you'll rise up, all the way up. Pick up the knees and nice long legs. So we have one final forward bend. So there's lots of forward bends to really get into the energies. And we can have our bolster either underneath the knees, cushions underneath the knees, or on top of the thighs and we roll forward, or without props. Your choice. You can even still sit on a cushion as well if you want to. So we're here for 3 minutes. So we all have struggles in life. It's true that some challenges are harder than others, but this only means that we have to work harder at letting go. We're being guided through the learning process of figuring out life by overcoming its challenges. This is part of your journey of life. So when we have been exposed to hard life experiences, our brain goes on high alert. And it doesn't want us to forget it because it wants to protect us. Our survival is our brain's main concern. Our brain will keep on us on high alert, scanning for potential harm. We have to help our brain understand that the event is over and that we are safe, that we've learned from the experience and that we can take care of ourselves. So there's a mantra that's very beneficial. It's helpful in making us feel safe and letting go. And the mantra is, it happened, it's over, and I am okay. It happened, it's over, and I am okay. So just one more minute. As you embrace the new spring and the new awakening, be open for new opportunities. Be ready at any moment to give up what you are for what you may become. Remember, without that change, we can never be the person we are meant to be. So let go of the old and make room for the new. And then slowly we're going to rise all the way up. You've had our 3 minutes, and our final posture is just going to be a very nice relaxing twist, just to bring everything back into equilibrium. So we're going to lay on our backs, we're going to have our cushions or bolsters. Before we do that, we're just going to give the back a little massage. So bring your knees into your chest and have a little roll around. And then the feet will be flat onto the mat. We're simply going to take the knees to the right and settle into this quite a restorative twist. If you want to, you can have your arms nice and wide. It's a shoulder opening as well. So if it's not comfortable for you, just have your arms down by the side of your body or even up above, whatever feels nice for you. So turn your head in any way that you want to. few more breaths and we'll change in the opposite direction. So bring your feet flat and we'll just roll into the opposite direction. You may want to shift your hips up a little bit and settle back down again into that restorative twist to end our practice. And again, have your gaze in any direction that feels appropriate to you. In your restorative practice, it really is important to really let go. This gentle twist is stimulating the urinary bladder. Just a few more breaths. And rolling back to center, feet flat onto the mat. Lift up your hips a little tiny bit, settle the spine down, and then bring the knees into the chest and have your final roll around on that lower back. If you have a bolster or cushions, you may want to pop it underneath your knees and at the back of your knees, simply drape over the bolster or the cushions. So really relax the spine. Put any blankets that you need. Make sure you're warm and comfortable. Maybe have some socks on. And just start to let the body relax even more. Just focus on letting go and finding that inner peace. Feel of your breath just coming and going. Breathing in freedom. And allow the mind to rest in relaxation. Be aware of your thoughts, but try not to get involved in the thoughts. And bring your back observation to the flow of your breath again. breathing in freedom, and allowing the mind to rest in relaxation. Imagine you're going on a journey into deep peace, both mentally and physically. Maybe starting to feel at ease. Find yourself drifting a little bit. As you let go of your thoughts, you may now feel a little lighter and more relaxed. Imagine now that you're seated on a beach, watching the sea flowing in and flowing out, just like your breath, slow and steady, just like a wave. Breathing your body, every part of your body is breathing,